Jordan is here on this special bonus episode. We said, hey, it's the bye week. We've been putting out a lot of bye week content, and we said, hey, why not more bye week content? So we're here on a Saturday talking to you about an interesting topic that maybe we probably shouldn't be talking about yet, but I think it's fun to speculate. Um, Eric Bieniemy. We know that he should be a head coach by now. He's a phenomenal mind, a phenomenal just football guy all around. We've seen him this year, especially grow in the locker room, in the player personnel side of his game. Not saying that he wasn't already great in player personnel before, but he's really grown in that aspect of his game, I believe. So now we're looking at places Eric Bieniemy could land to be a head coach. He probably should have been a head coach last year, probably should have been a head coach the year before that. Nevertheless, he'll be up for more spots this year. That's a certain. I think it's almost certain at this point that Eric Bieniemy is going to be leaving, and Jordan is here to talk with me, talk to me, talk amongst me about it.
Yeah, hopefully with you. I hope I'm not just talking at you, but
Yeah.
either way, we're going to get some damn Eric Bieniemy content out today.
Yeah. I think it's hard. Let's talk about Eric Bieniemy for a second. I think it's hard to gauge how Eric Bieniemy is as a coordinator because he doesn't call plays. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, and I mean, there have been things in the past where Reed will go to press conferences, and I think it's usually one of those things where if there's a bad play call or a bad offensive performance, Reed will say, that one was on me. I called all the plays, blah, blah, blah. Then sometimes when there's a good game, he'll say, yeah, I let Eric have some freedom, stuff like, I mean, Andy Reid knows
Hmm.
exactly what he's doing. He wants Eric Bieniemy to succeed. And I'm sure Eric does say, hey, you should do this, blah, blah, blah. But I think when it's going to the headset, more often than not, Andy Reid is saying, here's what we're going to do. Now, he does get some input from Eric Bieniemy. I'm sure there are instances where EB gets to kind of have some freedom there.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to be fine. I mean, really, we've seen the Andy Reid coaching tree go out, and I mean, Doug Peterson has a Super Bowl ring. Matt
Mhm.
Nagy, the jury's still kind of out on him, but I think he's kind of making do with what he has at quarterback right now. If
Yeah.
he had a more talented guy, he'd be doing more things. So the Reid coaching tree is pretty good. I think that EB might be the most successful of them all because he knows what he's doing. And I mean, what
Yeah.
better guy to prepare you for that job than Andy Reid?
Yeah, you're right. The thing about Matt Nagy too, he doesn't have a very good offensive line. The Bears' offensive
Yeah.
line is garbage, and that really impacts how a team is. We've seen that now more than ever, especially in this COVID season. The Tennessee Titans looking like a very good contender. Taylor Lewan gets hurt. They have other injuries on that offensive line. They just lose to the Colts.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Uh, uh, this whole season, this football is just interesting in this time of COVID. But Eric Bieniemy, I think it's interesting. I believe he's in Patrick Mahomes' head. I believe
Yeah.
he's in his helmet, and that's the guy that is talking to him. So I think that that's going to be beneficial to Eric Bieniemy, and I do think that the play calling kind of strayed teams away. I do think Eric
Mhm.
Bieniemy is a will be a good play caller. Um, but Andy Reid is just a phenomenal play caller. There's no better person to learn play calling from than Andy Reid, and I think that he's going to be put in the best position to succeed. Well, I guess it depends on where the team goes, but he's
Mhm.
learning from one of the best in the biz. What is he now, like third all time for in wins? Something stupid
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, Andy Reid, his coaching tree is good. With the Matt Nagy, he's just a bad situation. Doug Peterson, you mentioned, has a Super Bowl. Now people are saying now that with that Philadelphia Eagles team, hey, maybe this team was only good because Frank Reich, well, the offensive coordinator, was here.
Mhm.
So I think there is a little bit of hesitancy with the Andy Reid coaching tree as of now. I think Connor and I have talked about that, just because of what's going on right now. But we've also seen other coaching trees, like the New England coaching tree, kind of start to fall apart. Kent Swanson
Yeah.
on Twitter was talking about how Houston, Atlanta, and Detroit was New England, correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, all three of those coaches that were potentially fired with in terms of Detroit. Uh, Patricia's on the hot seat. His seat is
Yeah.
fiery. But I don't think that he's there past this season. But you look at those three teams; they all had New England guys, Bill Belichick guys, and now they're looking for new coaches. All three landing places potentially for Eric Bieniemy to go.
Yeah, and I mean, I think people overthink the whole coaching tree thing. I mean,
Yeah.
preparation and where you're coming from is obviously important, and that gives you a better shot and inside chance at succeeding. So coming from a guy like Andy Reid or Bill Belichick, you're gonna have the odds in your favor, but also substance. I mean, what were you when you were with them? What's your character like? I mean, the
Yep.
basic fundamentals of football. How are you with drama? How are you with the locker room? How are you when your back's against the wall? I mean, Eric Bieniemy, he's passed all the tests. Him and Travis Kelsey have butted heads in game, got into
Mhm.
shouting matches, and then 5 minutes later been hugging and moving on. He's had tough conversations. He's had plenty of interviews. I mean, he's ready for a job. He's going to get a job. And I think that, I mean, it's almost impossible to predict that a head coach is going to have success at his next stop. But I'm pretty confident that EB is going to go do great things somewhere else.